Is this the cut where, like, I don't know if jumping the shark is the right phrase.
Okay.
But, like, is this the cut where things just get too weird? Like, is that what we're dealing with?
I would not expect that there to be like a mechanical monster in this Hyborian age. And I don't understand the technology that went into creating this beast.
I think it's one of these things where they're like, they're just flailing for story. Did I think there would also be a scene where she's teaching him? She's like pre-teaching him. Like later on, you said, Rick, that there's going to be a scene where the prince is taught, Ernie Reyes Jr. is taught more swordcraft, like a montage type thing.
No, this is it.
Really, this is it. Oh no.
Yeah.
She teaches. Okay, let's just get in the episode and talk about it. Roll the music.
Here we are. Start to sweat. I like the redheads, those bright green eyes that knock me dead. The redheads, I just give up trying to find the redheads.
What's up, you broads and bastards? It's me, Jonathan, from the Swordboys. How y'all doing? I'm here with my other co-hosts.
That's right. I'm Rick.
And hey, it's me, Robin.
Hey, Rick and Robin, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to Swordboys, a podcast where we go through cut by cut the movie Red Sonja, one bizarre scene at a time. This is this is definitely the bizarrest part so far that I've seen.
This is cut 4. We have passed the halfway point of this movie. It begins at 45 minutes, 25 seconds, and it goes to 59 minutes, 18 seconds, beginning with Sonja awoken by Prince Tarn practicing his swordsmanship. Very awkward for a kid to be doing in the middle of the night, waking everybody up like that. But it ends with Kalidor learning the 8 simple rules for dating this Hyborian age warrior.
So he's caught doing his kata, if you know what I mean.
Like, I know what you mean.
He went the extra mile to hide behind a rock. So
I'm gonna go do my kata over here. Don't look at me.
He's not like hiding under his blanket going, yeah, take that, ruffian. Weird name for him to give that. Ruffian.
I wish that when we heard him, he was actually replaying the horse torture that he went through. So it's like, try and tie me to a horse. Ha! Yeah, like kind of like him thinking of how he would have gotten his out of that situation. Because it's got to be embarrassing for anybody, much less a prince.
Yeah.
I got to pull back to the transition between our cuts because, you know, we ended our last cut and all our listeners were excited. We're going across the Bone Bridge. We're heading into the kingdom. We're going to go fight Gendred now. And then cut to Red Sonja sleeping on, it looks like Scarlet's saddle with her mouth hanging open, just with her sword by her side. But, you know.
She's sleeping on the saddle and also has that amazing coat, the Red Sonja coat, which we'll see later in this cut. Amazing coat. Mm-hmm. If I was gonna cosplay Red Sonja, I would definitely wear that coat.
My gosh, that's the kind of coat where you make it for a cosplay and then you keep it as like your lounging around the house robe.
Yes.
Yeah. I want a Red Sonja snuggie.
So she sleeps with her knife on her hip. She comes out. She's going to help. Red Sonja's going to teach him. She's like, you practice on me. Try and kick me. Or try and, attack me, kill me. She actually says it. Try and kill me.
Yeah. She's like, I'm unarmed.
So he does a twirl. And then the first thing Ernie Reyes does, of course, kick her. And she knocks the kick away. Awesome.
So basically he's like, I got to give her a ha. And a hiya, and then I kick her, sir.
Hiya. So, yeah, they give the hiya, and it doesn't do anything. And then he comes at her and stabs at her. And she's like, no, you're holding your sword too tightly, which doesn't make any sense.
Like there's an important distinction to be made here between fighting and fencing. And I like that that's what Sonja brings up. She's like, listen, You over here, you've got fencing. Fencing has rules that you follow, and there's engagements where you clash and where you step back and whatnot. It's an art form. There's motions involved. And then you got fighting, where you just got to be the bigger bastard to wreck the dude that you're going up against. And like, fencing will give you the skills and practice that you need to be good at fighting. But when you get into a fight, you can't be relying on just fencing skills. There's a distinction there. And I
haven't seen him fence once, but okay, sure.
My question for this scene is, can Sonja teach me how to hold my sword next? I'm just wondering.
It's the 38 special technique.
Why are you just as horny as an 8-year-old boy? What's wrong with you, Robin? Because Ernie Reyes Jr. also he holds her hand up to his hand, and then when she takes it away, he puts his hand back up. And then she's like, "Oh, you learn fast."
Can I get a little side tangent here on Ernie? I was inspired thinking back on the 80s and how big Ernie Reyes Jr. was to me.
Never physically big. Never physically big.
Never physically. No. But on YouTube, I watched last night The Last Electric Night from the Wonderful World of Disney, the movie that led to the series Sidekicks.
The Last Electric Night with Gil Gerard.
Yeah, Buck Rogers himself.
Yeah.
If you want to see Ernie Reyes Jr. lay waste to a gang of street thugs led by a young Don Cheadle, I've got a movie for you.
I was not expecting Don Cheadle to be there, but that's awesome.
Okay.
Jason Hervey, you're expecting Jason Hervey to bully Ernie Reyes Jr.? No, he's his best friend. He wants him to teach him karate.
Awesome.
It's great stuff.
It's called The Last Electric Night.
Yeah.
What's the electric night thing? What is that business?
Well, it's basically the Force. It's just electric is all around us. It surrounds us. Yeah. He's basically taught by his grandfather about being, this, having this mystical power or whatever in the family.
The grandfather from Gremlins, I assume, the guy who owns the shop.
I assume. Yeah. I don't know. But the funny thing is, it's like, it starts out with like a social worker showing up and being like, "Listen, you're too old to take care of this kid. You're gonna have to figure something out, or we're gonna have to put this kid in foster care. I know you're not dead yet, but we're gonna take him away anyway." And so the grandfather looks out his window and looks at different apartment windows and sees like people fighting, and then he sees like Gil Gerard being nice to a pigeon on his balcony, and he's like, "That's the one."
That's the one.
So he literally sends the kid. And Gil Gerard plays Detective Jake Rizzo, and he's got this whole Bronx accent the entire movie, but it's a lot of fun. It really is.
All right, that's a good recommend in the middle of this weird movie we're watching right now.
Yeah. If you want to take a little side quest, go check out The Last Electric Night.
So yeah, she teaches Ernie Reyes Jr. one move, not even, and I guess they're done for the night. He's going to go to bed, and it's a little funny because Falcon just kind of comes out from behind the rock and kind of nods at her and also bows to her.
Okay. So Falcon was hiding behind that rock.
Yeah.
So was his plan, like, if she got a little too rough with Prince Tarn, was he just going to come in and like just brain her in the back of the head with his club?
He's always there with that bone ready to go.
Yeah.
Falcon actually has, he does come from Clan Cuck. He was kind of recruited. And now he's wanting Sonja to show him how to hold his bone next.
Are you sure he's from Clan Cuck and not Clan Fascinator? Because he's always wearing a Fascinator.
Boy.
Maybe he's a bit of everything. Maybe he was in all of them. Yeah. Maybe he started in Gooch because that's where he learned to throw the knives. Right. And then he went to Clan Fascinator, where he learned to wear hats. Here is where you shall learn to wear hats.
Yeah.
And then he joined Clan Cuck because he's like, "Hey, this looks fun." And then he's like, "This really isn't my thing."
Falcon is able to walk between worlds. He's an ambassador of sorts.
Can I call out a line reading, by the way, from the mighty Brigitte Nielsen?
Please do.
Tarn goes, "When I'm king of Heblock, I shall have you at my court." And Sonja says, "You will, the honor."
Yeah,
the honor.
Instead of just sarcastically, "Oh my, the honor."
If I could go back in time to become a script supervisor for these movies, I would explain to Brigitte Nielsen that there's a comma between the word "my" and the phrase "Your Honor." So the line should be the honor.
I can't
Not
imagine
the
what
honor.
this set was. It was Ernie Reyes Jr. and a bunch of people that barely speak English.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that the set was just like Italians yelling at Brigitte and Arnold and other people, and like they're all like kind of getting it. They're all just kind of
Meanwhile-
like a lot of hand talking.
Meanwhile, half the background actors were like, "Man, do you remember when we were working for Steven Spielberg and George Lucas making those Indiana Jones movies?
Remember that day we all had the poops?" And what's even more bonkers is that Queen Gedrin has been watching the Sonja the movie, Red Sonja the movie. She saw all this happen because they pan to the they crosscut, I guess, crossfade to the TV monitor, and she's watching this and just like, come on, movie, what are you doing?
Gedrin, of course, also has her roots in Clan Cook. She likes
just
to
loves
watch as well.
So she's gonna, she needs to get the ball of sex. I don't know what she needs to get the ball to make some weather, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the talisman does. It creates storms and earthquakes and stuff like that. So you might as well use it.
Do they show it? They don't. She just tells Eichel we need a storm.
Yeah.
They don't show them doing the storm. It's just next thing is just the storm's happening. And then
Also,
we
I
get
assume-
the amazing Red Sonja coat.
I assume this is the middle of the night, by the way. Sonja was asleep. Gedrin tunes in on the TV. She's up late night watching.
I assume,
Sonja-
Burbank,
Sonja
remember
cast.
Burbank is I think it's daytime because Burbank is the land of perpetual night. So I assume it's
Oh, I
daytime
forgot
because
that
remember,
part.
she's like, we have to be going. I should be out there. I only have 4 days left. So I feel like this is daytime. This is a day storm.
Oh.
Day
Okay.
storm.
So I was wondering, like, do these people just hang out in these costumes all day, all night?
Like they only have the one outfit.
Yeah, everybody's only got one outfit for this. Although Kalidor switched. In the next scene, he's not in the outfit he was in at the beginning of the movie, or even the scene at the gate.
All right.
This is
well,
my
he's-
swimming gear.
He's
It's
the one
reversed.
guy.
My outfit's reversible. On one side it's red.
I killed all of Clan Cock, and then I went to the men's warehouse. They told me I would like the way I looked.
Well, here's what I did. I killed half of Clan Cook while the other half watched. And then while they had boners, I cut their boners off. And so they died. That's how you got to take care of Clan Cook.
That's what you got to do.
Meanwhile, in the cave of water.
So this is a
a great little
Ithian cave.
Oh, yeah. The Ithian
Which-
caves. Because they
Which,
bring up.
anybody who's familiar with Greek, which,
Mhm.
of course, I'm
we
sure
all
we've got
are.
a huge Greek audience. You'll remember that the word ichthys is ancient Greek for fish. So if
Oh.
you take the C out of ichthys, you get ithis. So it's the Ithian cavern. So spoiler alert for the next scene, I guess. And then
Gotcha.
the way that Eichel's like, yes, there'll be fish food. And she's like, nah, don't kill Sonja. And he's like, well, it's a robot. I can't control it. It's like, so is it a wind-up toy? Or is it like magical remote control where it's like got a lot of lag? So it's kind of hard to like be precise with it.
It seems like no one controls it. It's just pearl based. It's just a pearl based robotic fish.
Right.
Once the pearl is taken out, then the fish is activated. Your
And then
greed shall be your undoing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But also, it's, skipping ahead, its eyes are pearls too.
Right. Yeah.
And somehow deactivating the killing machine.
It doesn't deactivate it, just makes it angry and starts
Right.
spinning in a death spiral.
You took
Right.
my eyes. I'm upset now. I do like how Sandal Bergman does Eichel, we need a storm, a small one, and she holds up her fingers.
Yeah,
I really hope
that's a
that
little
was like
moment of comedy there. I like
she's
that.
having a great time on this set.
I really hope that was an improv because it's so charming.
Yeah.
I don't think that the script would give her that.
because I think because what's her is she where's she from originally? Is she
Let's-
American or is she
Yeah, she's from Missouri.
Missouri.
Okay. Well, it's just her name. It reeks of like, Sandoll is not a, Missouri people don't normally name their kid Sandoll. Anyway, point is,
Sandy.
her use of any funny stuff that she does. It's funny that in the movie, the Americans are able to show some of that. Arnold has a little bit of it because he's done these movies before, whereas Brigitte Nielsen is new to this, probably new to an English speaking movie set. One, it's probably not all English speaking. It's probably half Italian. So
yeah,
she probably feels a little awkward. So I would assume there's literally just a nuance that's missing, because Brigitte she's fine in the movies I've seen her in. I've never really would consider Brigitte Nielsen a great actor. I just think she's like an 80s actor. Like I've always kind of thought, well, she's an 80s actor, and there are a lot of bad. We somehow let the younger Belushi brother be in movies, and we still do. We let him be in TV and movies. So I wouldn't consider him a great actor.
I live my life according to Jim, so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's crazy that you even know the name of that show.
Just bad choice.
So my point is, it's nice to have a little subtle humor that actually comes across. And if Sandal's like, I'm the one that's going to have to do it because there's nobody else in this movie other than Paul Smith who is going to be able to, throw this out like this. Although Ernie Reyes Jr. is funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could have cut to a funny scene though, because like a little one, and we hear,
hey, don't call him that.
The next exchange is Sonja and Falkon talking about how weird it is that they were almost like, forced to go into this cave. And I would have loved to have seen the like lightning bolts like chasing them into this cavern like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Like,
well, there's no, if you notice, they've kind of cut out all the stuff that like involves effects. They're just like, there's a storm.
We keep hearing about these storms and mass destruction, but we're not actually seeing it.
So they go in there, and Falcon and Ernie Reyes are there looking at this giant pearl that is in this water, and Ernie Reyes wants it. He's like, it probably belongs to somebody else. And he's like, yeah, me.
Mm-hmm.
So he has him pry the thing off, and Red Sonja is like, hey, you shouldn't do that. Don't you guys notice that the water is filling up in this room?
Okay. The water is filling up in the room because there is torrential rain happening outside, and it's got nowhere to flow but inside this cavern. And I feel like so often in the 80s, the way it works is like you take the pearl and then the place starts to fill up with water. But no, it's already starting to flood before they start cutting the pearl out of the wall.
Well, I assume there's enough water in there at all times for the robot to be in.
Right.
But then the rain is creating, I guess, a deeper pool for the robot.
I just feel like Prince Tarn is probably not a professional jeweler, so I don't see how he can like look at that and be like, yes, that is going to be valuable enough to fill the coffers of the kingdom, hire a new army, rebuild everything.
Based on what society? We haven't seen any society who are you going to sell that to?
Is there a Hyborian Pawn Masters where this guy is going to come out with like the medieval equivalent of a polo shirt and be like, best I can do is 5 gold pieces?
I'm going to have one of my experts have a look at this.
Let me talk to the old man and I'll see what he says.
What do you got there? It's a pearl. I love pearls. This is a good looking robot / it's a puppet. It's a large puppet. It's actually pretty good. It's got flaring nostrils. It's got eyes that blink and a mouth that moves and a little tongue that darts out.
It's got a sword tongue.
Yes.
The tongue is a sword.
I did not even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
I didn't know it was a robot.
Huge. Yeah. At first I was like, oh, I love me a practical puppet. Like I love, like, obviously I'm supposed to buy that this is some sort of like creature, and then I'm like, no, he said killing machine in the last scene.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is now looking very robotic.
And every time they hit it, it makes a clang noise.
Clang. Yeah.
Yep. Clang, clang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are at some point in the fight there, there's a couple different things that happen. Ernie Reyes fights it. Paul Smith fights it. Red Sonja fights it. And they keep trying to get up on the wall. They keep trying to like get out of the water. And this thing keeps doesn't even knock them over. So it's not really that dangerous. Like it doesn't seem to have a lot of mobility. And then Ernie Reyes Jr. falls in the water with it. And he holds onto its back and it kind of goes around in circles, which seems like it's super fun.
Yeah. It's like it's like a water feature at, an amusement park thing. It's like, that's the kind of thing you'd see at a splash pad.
I will say this action scene, it is pretty tedious. It's cool at first. You're like, oh my God, this creature. And then it's just like, we're watching this thing just drag Ernie Reyes through the water around and around.
Well, everybody's like,
what's happening?
Everybody's like lengthening the scene.
Yeah. This fight's like 5 or 6 minutes long once the fish shows up.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could tell that they put a lot of money into this puppet and they're like, listen, we're going to get our money's worth. And
thank God Kalidor has arrived. And Kalidor shows up in a new outfit, completely different outfit, which makes me almost think, did they forget the other outfit? Like he's in a completely different outfit. He's in like this grayish, brown metal gold thing as opposed to this red. Also, I didn't see. I have to go back and look. Let me look for his cod piece. Hold on.
No, it's his cod piece is not. He's wearing a flat-fronted pair of leather pants now.
You're right. Well, there is a bit of like a roundish thing there, but not like before. It was like sticking out. So
it's not as plush.
Just in case you were all wondering, can Arnold Schwarzenegger swim? Don't know, because he dives in like someone who can't swim. He dives in the water like, oh, belly flop.
It does look like a belly flop,
man.
But he does know gator wrestling, so
he belly flops in the water and gator wrestles his robot underwater for a few minutes. What is the mechanism? Let's talk about this. I want to break this down. He's on it. He's like riding it, and it's moving fast. So that's not a human underneath there in that suit. It's connected to a circle of some kind. Like it's connected to something that goes in a circle, right?
There's a track under that water, and that thing is just getting dragged around.
Yeah, again, that's what lends the tediousness of this, because we just saw Ernie Reyes do the same thing. It's like, okay, and now Kalidor gets a ride. Yay! Who's next?
I wanted, this would have been super random, but it would have been something to have Robert Shaw show up and be like, these killing machines, think about them. They have lifeless eyes, silver eyes, like a doll's eyes,
like a doll with eyes made of oysters.
Like when he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living because he's a robot.
So then he's on the bucking bronco.
Yep.
And Kalidor is on top of him, and they finally, I guess, figure out, because it starts to roll. They figure out that, I don't know how, inexplicably, it's figured out that if you get rid of his eyes, they'll be able to like win.
Yeah.
It's a machine. Why does it need eyes?
Yeah.
Kalidor is the kind of guy that will come into a situation and he's not there to do it all himself. He is there to facilitate others in the team. So he's like, Sonja, we have to blind it. It's our only chance. And so like
he's the paladin. He's the paladin from the Dungeons and Dragons movie. He's he's stronger than everybody in the scene. He's just there to move it along. He's like, at this point, you should probably try and take its eyes out. Why? Because that's where the story needs to go. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Also, is it being remote controlled? Is it?
I don't
think
so.
Conscious?
I think there's just a giant key that they have to like stick in its side and wind it up.
Another key. First, you got to have sex with the guy. You got to have sex with the guy who has the key, and then you got to turn it on.
Yeah, a couple of Gedron soldiers. They just come in and they have to wind it up every so often, and then just let it go.
So this thing is not conscious. Like it doesn't have hopes, dreams, desires. It goes after things that land in pool.
So
Robin is looking for its motivation.
Like, should we feel bad for it? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand the whole, like, it's a machine, but yet the eyes are the way to take it down. And again, is it just a mechanical thing, or is there something inside motivating it? Yeah.
It's a mechanical fish that lives inside of a cave that there's no reason for it.
Right.
Explain this to me like I'm 5.
Explain to me like I'm Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah.
What? What reason do you have this? So I guess they get out. They get out because it's blind now.
Right. Yeah. It's so
They get
apparently-
out because they finally go to the stairs where they were supposed to go the entire time instead of climbing the stupid wall.
Queen
The
Gedren's
stairs
like-
are right there.
Queen
Just get
Gedren's
in,
like-
go to the stairs.
She tells Wizzo, she's like, Wizzo, go send the men to go fix the robot. And they're like, oh God. Those eyeballs fell out of that robot all the time. What if we just don't have it have eyes? It's stupid.
Why does the robot need eyes?
I was thinking about putting an exhaust port on this thing. I don't think anybody noticed.
It's an exhaust port just below the main port. What's the problem? It's like 2 meters long. You know, the size of a womp rat. They're definitely womp rats in the Hyborian age.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're back in Hawk the Slayer. They're back in the woods.
We've gone back
Yes.
to the woods that Ernie Reyes Jr. was
I guess the
terrorized by gypsies
storm
in.
that was magically created that they really wanted that they wouldn't shut up about stopped. Well,
Yeah.
I thought the point was to have the storms. Why is it not storming?
Well, yeah, they
gotta
got
let it
pushed into the
recharge.
cave.
Because of the
Yeah.
storms.
Michael was
The
worried about
point
it being
was her.
too
She wanted a
powerful.
small storm. Small storm.
Small storm. So she got her small storm. It's over.
I guess. You have delayed them a day. Cool. Maybe.
Yeah. What's the plan now? Are they still? Is she like okay? Let them come.
We know that it was 4 days yesterday or today. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like we're down to like 3 days on the ticking clock here.
Whatever their days are, we don't even know because their days may be different than ours.
Yeah.
So we get a little backstory from Kalidor on what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's like-
He's kind of explaining, hey, we had this magic thing, and these people hundreds of years ago were told to take care of it. Your sister's part of that, but only a man, only the prince can destroy the sex ball,
like there's all of this information that
the Frere Rocher.
we don't know it because Sonja didn't know it, and Sonja didn't know it because she didn't care to ask.
Right.
And he was like, now that we're here, I might as well tell you why I've been following you.
At the time, you did not seem like you wanted to talk to a dude.
Yeah.
So he kind of explains it to her, and she's like, "Oh, I thought you were following me for another reason." He's like, "I am," and then he kisses her.
I can follow you for more than one reason.
And
The two things can exist simultaneously. I
which
am a
yeah.
multifaceted individual. I am not some one-dimensional cardboard cutout in your movie.
I'm not like your robot fish with only has one weak spot. I have many weak spots, Red Sonja. I am a man.
I like pastries, for example. Too many pastries, less muscle bulk. What exactly is Sonja patching? Like, I love the shit-eating grin that Conan has here as
Who?
she's patching him. Sorry, Kalidor. But he doesn't like have his shirt off. She basically is putting like a gauze over the top of his shirt, which doesn't like, did he get stabbed there? Did he get cut there? I don't see any blood.
Yeah, he's got scratches because he was like trying to alligator wrestle a mechanical beast covered in spikes.
But when he stands up, the little thing falls right off.
Just like
Yeah.
falls right off.
She's like, keep it on there. And then he's like, no, I do not need bandages.
So she's like, "No, you can't. You can't kiss me because no man can be with me that hasn't fought for me for his life." He's like, so if someone wants to try and kill you, then they can bone down on top of you. Cool. Good to know. And I feel like it's about to happen.
Who here wants to see this romance?
I'm
who here is
not here for it.
Awesome.
Honestly,
So I want them to get together so bad.
yeah, I'm here for it because like the relationship that these two are building is not built on like, charm. It's built on like them seeing each other in combat. Like, like Kalidor is attracted to Sonja because it's Brigitte Nielsen in 1985, but also because has seen what she's able to do with a sword, and he's like, I'm very impressed with your skill as a warrior. And then like Sonja is attracted to Kalidor because she's seen him just kicking all of the ass, and she's like, oh, I can respect his prowess with a sword. I wonder how much prowess he has with his sword.
Is this the first time in any of the movies we've done where the sword fighting leads to sex? In none of the other shows and movies we've watched, are they like, if I fight with this sword, we're going to bone down? The only time it kind of happens is when Brenda stabs him, and then that leads to sex. But as we know, a knife isn't a sword. So
right.
Yeah, McLeod never sleeps with Kurgan.
He should, but they don't. Well, we don't know that they didn't.
There's a lot of tension there.
They've been alive for a long time. At one point, there's like, I don't know, you want to do it just for fun? Just see.
Was it? I think
like that time I took your Ramirez from behind.
Red Sonja is doing something that I wish more of these 1980s movies did. Is they're taking all of the like the sex scene type stuff that you would have in one of these movies and replacing it with sword fights.
Sure.
Like the sword fight that we're about to see in the next cut is the big romance scene between, Kalidor and Red Sonja. This is them crossing blades and getting all up in each other's business and stuff like that. Like, sure, like we're gonna see them like, yeah, we're gonna romance each other at the end of the movie, but that's like the last thing.
I have a bone bridge to pick with you, Rick, because I was expecting to get to see this fight, this cut, and I don't.
Nope. I am.
That makes me very angry because I wanted to see a fight other than the fight with a freaking fish.
Yeah, I don't know what's coming next, but it is weird how this cuts, because I'm thinking that Kalidor is about to make a move and the scene is going to continue, but I assume that we're going into another scene with no quote unquote sword fighting.
No, at the next scene, Robin, they're asleep again.
Yeah, it's a smash cut to another cave.
I've got to go. Oh.
I'm so horny.
Yeah, that, for everybody else who's disappointed of the way I choose my cuts, like half the time I'm dictated by the runtime of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I do sometimes get a little bit of a kick out of like, yeah, I'm gonna split this scene down the middle and have the exciting part be where we pick up next time.
This is like Clan Edge, like you're starting your own edging clan.
Oh,
I don't like it.
Yeah, because we don't even really see when Kalidor stands up. Like he leans down and you see him pick up his sword, but you don't actually see him pull it out of his sheath. You just kind of see the arms move.
Yeah, and Robin wants to watch him pull it out of the sheath. He's in Clan Cock. That's what he wants to see.
Come on, let's see it. No, I don't want to see this romance at all. I'm like, please, somebody interrupt this.
I do not care. Please, Ernie Reyes, run in there and with some of your amazing wit.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
You got to Kalidor block this guy. You got to.
Is it like you guys don't like them together? Like, what's the
we don't like love, okay?
When I see Arnold putting his lips on anybody in any movie, I'm always like, no.
It's always bad.
I don't see you as this. I see you as strong and kicking ass and one-liners. I don't want to see like,
like I'm not like in Twins. Ugh. Oh, that whole scene is awful.
No, any romance they set up Arnold with in movies, that's the very last thing I want to see in a movie.
I'm with you 100%.
I don't know what it is. Is he too big? Am I intimidated? Am I thinking I'm probably not as good as a lover as Arnold Schwarzenegger? I don't know what it is. I just don't want to see it.
Here's a tangent. This will help with this. I wish this movie was more like Private Benjamin and more like Wildcats. Let me explain. I've been on a Goldie Hawn thing, so I've been watching Goldie Hawn movies. And at a certain point in Goldie Hawn movies, she stopped having love interests in her movies. The movie she was producing. It's funny because she's famously been with a guy forever. But it's funny that we're watching Wildcats, and I looked at my wife, I'm like, they don't there's no guy. Like she has an ex-husband played by a Keach, like the younger Keach brother. But I'm like, there's no love. And I kind of wish Red Sonja they started out as she'll never love a man because men have just done horrible things to her. Okay, cool. That's an interesting character. Instead, they're like, oh, but Arnold Schwarzenegger's so dreamy. And I'm like, movie, come on. He's not that dreamy. I guess they're playing off the Conan thing, but it's like I'm with Robin. I've never seen him as a sexual object in any way.
Also, it's kind of weird. It's like, Sonja got horrifically raped at the beginning of this movie. And it's just like by this part, are we supposed to be like, oh, can she just stop with the not wanting to have sex with
She
Arnold
just needs to
Schwarzenegger?
settle down. It's been a week.
Arnold.
It's been a week.
Seriously.
She's fine. How long do we think it's been actually since she slashed Queen Gedren's face and was assaulted?
So
has it been a month, a year? Was she a kid?
She was at Clan Gooch long enough for the Grandmaster to be like,
flag master.
You are the master of the master. So like, what is it? Like 10,000 hours to become a master at something.
So she was there for 10,000 hours, which is how long?
It's a good question.
8 crazy nights.
10,000 hours is 416 days. So a little over a year. Okay.
Yeah. So if you were doing like 24 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So 2 years? 2 years?
She's got to sleep there sometimes.
I mean, she had to have at least gotten a horse at some point. So yeah, let's go with 2 years.
She raised Scarlet. The sister was in a cult for a while.
Sister was in a cult.
So she wasn't there. She ran off. Again, I'm not sure if she was a part of the cult and that's why she wasn't there, or if she was so disgusted by all that happened, she decided to give up her life to the cults.
Well, I'm with Robin. As long as everyone understands that Robin and I are on the side of, I hope this movie ends with her killing Queen Gedren and no one getting together with her. And she's a strong female role model and figure. I hope it doesn't end with, oh God, I was nothing without this man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, 10,000 hours. If you're only practicing 8 hours a day, you're looking at about 3.5 years. If you're doing like 16 hours a day, like wake up to go to sleep, you're looking at like, a year and 3/4.
Okay.
But I don't see the Sonja situation as her like settling down into heteronormativity or heteronormativity. Is that, if that's the word? Like I see it like the Sonja Kalidor romance feels the most organic to me out of all the movies we've seen so far, because it's built on like a slow build of respect between the characters.
Well, also there's never been a movie. We've never had a movie where the female character has any agency other than anything. We've never, this is our first lady sword. We've never had a woman with a sword. We've never had a woman with a sword in a movie.
This is a situation where like Sonja can kill Gedren. Spoiler alert, Robin. I know you haven't watched that cut yet.
What?
But that Sonja can like be the hero and achieve her goals and then be like, all right, now I'm going to make the choice to bone down with this guy, and not just I'm the hero of the story. I've earned this sexual encounter by virtue of being the hero of this story. That, she has taken all of the experiences that she's had and she's going to pour it into this one thing. Because
is it weird that I yell that before I have sex? That's how it normally happens.
I'm the hero of this story. I've earned this.
I am the hero of this story. Write that down. It's a good shirt. We all know what that means. I'm the hero of this story.
Oh God. No, it is funny to look back at the romances of the last 3 movies. The fact that, it's mostly toxic. McLeod harasses Brenda. Dar harasses Tanya Roberts, and Hawk just like goes after a girl that his brother was interested in.
Yeah, we don't get a ton of I know we talked about Hawk and Elaine before and how weird that situation was.
We'll have to get to a point where when we're doing a movie, we're searching for a stronger. I don't say that Red Sonja is not a strong female lead. She obviously is. That's the whole point of this movie. It's undercut with, I assume, Italian and 80s and just old sensibility. It's
Right.
unfortunately got.
This is finally a warrior movie starring a female, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
Arnold
Right. It's
Schwarzenegger
like
right above the title.
right.
Yeah.
She's second build. So it hurts a little.
This is
Yeah.
what we get when we have so many like guy-led movies, and I'm like, no, it is time for a heroine to step forward.
Mhm.
And then
Well, we'll get some. We'll get
the
some.
80s are
some-
like, here you go, Rick, and I'm like, cool, thanks.
when we get into modern stuff more, we get into more of a Kill Bill situation. I think we'll have.
That's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah. My next pick is definitely still in the male-driven vein. That's
Yeah.
what I like to call my.
Yeah, if anybody wants a clue as to what our next movie is, go back to the 2.5 Men joke from Cut 3.
One of them is in it.
yeah, not just half. But yeah, my next pick after that might just have to be Kill Bill. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see what. Yeah, like because
It's gonna
also
be a
I
while
want
until we get there. So
I also want to look around for other like female-driven sword movies,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
which I know there are, especially in Hong Kong cinema.
Mhm.
We'll find probably more of that.
Yeah. Oh, one day when we do Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that's gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah.
Love that wushu.
It's so funny. I actually typed in girl sword movies into Google. The first result is Red Sonja. Then the second result is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Girl sword.
Girl sword movies.
It's just a strong, independent woman who don't need no man to sword her enemies.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to that next time. Speaking of next time,
Whoa.
That's right, because next time, Sonja and Kalidor cross blades as he seeks to rise to the challenge of defeating her in combat. Reaching Queen Gedren's fortress, Prince Tarn is left to guard their escape as Sonja leads the others inside. With the talisman's power growing out of control, Eichel's pleading falls on deaf ears as Queen Gedren relishes in its awesome power. Falkon and Kalidor do battle with Queen Gedren's soldiers as they search for the talisman. But it's Prince Tarn who must put his skills to the test as he comes face to face with Eichel in Cut 5 of Red Sonja.
so Rick, I'm going to ask you to start doing this for our movies. If you, from now on, if anyone has seen the movie, I want a 1-word synopsis of the next cut to get me amped up for it. Like last one would have been robot fish. It doesn't have to be 1 word. You know what I mean? Like a phrase,
Yeah,
something that would
yeah.
like really get me going.
Yeah.
So the next cut, which I do not know what's going to happen, what's going to get Robin and I really amped?
Okay.
Like a nice little phrase that distills it perfectly. Has to be short,
all
not a
right.
sentence.
If I'm gonna get you guys jazzed for next cut, oh, I've got 2 to pick from. One is Cafeteria Fight,
Okay.
and the other one, Kid Murder. Like the kid does the murdering.
Okay. Kid murder, like when a kid murders somebody, not kid murder, like when a kid gets murdered. I got you.
But no, Cafeteria Fight is going to be the big set piece of next cut.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, this
hope
one I
they're
would have
sloppy
also
joes.
accepted horny TV or like maybe like horny TiVo. I don't know what we're gonna call this TV. Does this TV show up again? Or are we done? Are we done watching the movie Red Sonja in the movie Red Sonja?
I'm pretty sure we're done watching Red Sonja in Red Sonja.
What a waste of time they built that whole fucking thing. That thing is so big. That probably took 2 months.
Oh, the guy that pushed the TV. Oh,
Yep, that's
I
his
hope he's in a
whole
union.
job. That's his
Yeah.
only reason. Raison d'etre.
is that his name?
Yep.
Raison Jetra.
That's a cool name.
Nice.
Better than just wizard
It's Wizzo.
That's
Wizzo
right,
the
yeah.
Wizard.
with his super long fingernails. He must play classical guitar.
All right, see you next time.
Cling clang.
Clang clang.
Clang clang.
Redheads. I just give up trying to find the redheads. They're trouble boys.